Hello crafters, I'm Jambi and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. I can't tell you how thrilled I am to be back. I'd like to start off by saying many thanks to everybody who sent me their prayers, good wishes, cards, everything. It's really helped to sustain me through these past 18 months, 20 months or so, which have been a bit tough, but I'm through the other side now and I've got my mojo back and this is my first video. So I'm not promising at the moment that it's going to be every week like previously, but that is what my goal is. I'm going to see how it goes. The only issues I have left really are that I still feel tired and lethargic, and it's best described by saying it takes me a whole day to do half a day's work. I think that probably sums it up, but I don't go back to bed anymore. My hair's growing through nicely again and all is well with the world with me again now, so thank you very much to everybody. Right, today I'm going to show you how to make this card, which is called a twisted ribbon card. There are two designs that I've been watching since I've been having my health issues and really wanted to find out how they're made, and this was the first one. It looks as if that piece is one piece that's folded this way, that way and every which way, but it's much easier than that. So I'm going to show you how to do this. I have made a few of these now, and at the end I will show you the others, including the first two that I did wrong. I want you to see how it's done correctly first. It'll probably make it easier to see what I did wrong in the other ones. I'm not sure, but the other ones still look okay. I will still use them as birthday cards because they don't look wrong in themselves. They only look wrong when you compare them to this. Hope that makes sense. Right, I'm going to start off by telling you the card pieces that you're going to be needing. You need to start with a thick Whisper White card base, which measures 8 1/4 inches by 5 3/4 inches, scored and folded at 4 1/8 inches. All the measurements will be in the box below the video, including centimetres for the C6 cards and also inches for North America. You will need then 3 strips for the centre band, and I am using Lost Lagoon, which measures 5 3/4 inches by 2 1/2 inches, Party, which measure 5 3/4 by 2 1/4, and thick Basic White, which measures 5 3/4 by 2 inches. And then for the centre panel here, you need Lost Lagoon, which measures 2 1/4 inches by 2 5/8 inches, Party, which measures 2 inches by 2 3/8 inches, and Basic White, thick Basic White, which measures 1 3/4 inches by 2 1/8 inches. Now you need 1 or 2 of these. When we get to this stage, I'm going to show you, you can decide whether you want 1 or 2. I tend to use 2, but it does also work with 1. So these should be in the darkest colour, which should be Lost Lagoon, but my mistake, I picked up Party, but it doesn't matter. And these measure approximately 3/4 of an inch by 2 3/8 inches. And then you need designer series paper, and I like to go for a solid light and dark colour. You can use cardstock if you like, but what I didn't like, and I will show you later, is one of the lighter colours that I used actually had a white background, which didn't show up enough on the white template underneath, the panel underneath. So what you will need are 6 strips that measure 1/2 inch by about 3 inches, no shorter than 3 inches, okay? And these are the 2 that I'm using. And these are both from the Inked Botanics 6 inch by 6 inch design series paper. Right, so first of all we're going to do the fun bit, which is doing the strips. Now what you need to do is score your basic white strip at every 1/2 inch. Oh, don't need that one on my trimmer. I can still score with this. Okay, so the alternative to doing this, and what I have done, is I draw lines using a pencil across here and keep on just going at every 1/2 inch. When I was using the pencil, I just had one with a nice long point through it, so it could go through my paper like that, and it would come up like that. Okay, but because I prepared this ahead of time and I just did the marks down the edge there, when you put your strips on, it will cover up all that paper, and when you finish doing all your 1/2 inch down, you will find that you finish up with a 1/4 inch down here, because our paper, our cardstock, is 5 3/4 inch, so you still need that little one in there. If you're North America, that won't happen because your piece will be 5 1/2 inches long. Okay, I decided on the pencil marks because I think it's easier for you to see what I'm doing, but equally you might find it easier for yourself to be doing it. Now I need my, what are you called, silicone mat, and I'm also going to use a piece of scrap paper. Let's use that one there. I did have 3 of these and I can only find one, which is a bit frustrating to say the least, but never mind. I'd like this to be sitting on one and that one to be sitting on one, but I'll get myself another one when I place my order, assuming that I don't find it in the meantime. Right, again, with this you can choose to do the lighter colour first or the darker colour. I think I have here, not that one. Right, here's two other cards that I've made. Now this one's got the darker colour on top, and that's got the lighter colour. It's a matter of choice. I don't know which I prefer actually. I think because I've done all of mine with the dark one, I think I'm going to do my light one on top with this one. But I will show you the rest of them at the end. So I'm going to do the lighter ones on top. And unusually for me, I'm also going to be using my stamping seal. I just think it's easier for this project and it's quicker. Okay, so I'm just going to put stamping seal on the bottom. Now what you need to work on is the first strip you're going to do 1 to 2, the next one you're going to do 3 to 4, next one 5 to 6, 7 to 8, 8 to 9, no, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so if we call this line number 1 and we call this line number 2, I'm going to put the top of this there. I'm going to go a bit over, but the top of this strip is going up to line 1 and the top of this strip is going up to line 2. Okay, so up to line 1 there, right on the corner, and then right onto the corner there. Okay, and then another strip. I'll cut all these off at the end. It will stick to this paper, but it will come off. So the next one's going to be number 3. So that was pencil mark 1, that was 2, this is 3, so it goes underneath 3, and it's going down to 4. So this one's going to go from number 5 to number 6. The next one's going to be 7 to 8. That's number 7, number 8, 9 to 10. That's 9 to 10. And the first one up here, this is going, I'm not sure what that number would be, that's number 1, so it must be 0, I suppose. Okay, you know it's right because you've got the same gap between all of these. So I'm going to make sure that this comes right to the point there. And the lower half is going to come just above that line. So it's there and right to the point. Okay, so if I show you that from underneath. Okay, so that has come right off to the point, but the gap between all of them stays the same. Now, if I remember rightly, that one will come off there. Am I right? Yep, that's right. So we don't need to worry about this one. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, it worked. That's what I've done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That would be 11 and that would be 12. So that one we don't need. Okay. And then, because you need 6 strips, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's number 6. Right, I hope that makes sense. Right, now I'm just going to trim all these off. These are non-stick scissors. Unfortunately, they're not Stampin' Up, but they are really good for something like this. As long as you remember to open them wide when you go to cut off the next piece, and then they all get stuck together, and you can just pop them off like that. Now this one we're going to cut along the top. Okay, put that one off. Now we can go down this side. I have tried leaving this to cut this off after I've done both sets of strips, but it was a bit of an effort to do. It was just getting too thick on here and too much like hard work. Right, now keeping the thin bit down the bottom still, I'm going to start on the lighter colour. Now I'm going to show you the second one down because it's easier to see what's happening. So this strip here is going to go over this strip, and it's going to go up to that strip. Okay, so cover up that strip there and then go up to that one. Okay, let's do that again. Go down one. If you just keep remembering that each one has got to cover up the one before that's going in the opposite direction. So very nice and easy, this. But I think the result of it is brilliant. Now you see there's a pencil mark there. I think you can see it. I'll have to bring the whole lot up, never mind. This is going to cover it up. Okay, yes, you can see that. I have done so many takes for this video. I found that when I first started I was so overexcited. I sounded like loony really. And eventually I managed to make a complete video, But when I listened to it, it sounded like me in the very early days, really very amateurish. Which, you know, I'm not beating myself up about it, please. Don't think I'm being unkind. Right, now this last one, in fact, what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut these off so that it'll be easier to explain. There we go. And there's that lot. So we've just got the last one to do. I'm going to bring it up to show you. This is where you've got, if you're A4 cardstock user, you can have that little line there and just 1/4 of an inch. So what you do, you still push that to overlap on that one, and you still go down to that pencil mark. Okay, so it finishes off beautifully, but it will need trimming at the bottom. Okay, so I hope I didn't go off screen there, did I? Let's just repeat that in case I did. That one is going to go over this side. This one is going to cover that pencil mark up, like that. So everything finishes up all nice and even, and then you trim off the ends. So let's show you in real life what actually happens. In fact, now I could come over here, can't I? So this one, I'm going to cover up those two ends on the right hand side there. I'm going to swivel round, just cover up that pencil mark. Oh, it's much easier. These silicone mats are absolutely brilliant. Right, so cut that bit off. That bit. And then that bit. Okay. Isn't that lovely? Forgotten which is my thin end. That's my top end, the one that comes off right the way. Okay, this one doesn't finish off at an exact 1/2 inch mark, so that's the bottom. Mind you, if you wanted to do it the other way, it wouldn't matter. But the other thing that you need to keep an eye on, didn't really matter with these designs, but sometimes you need to watch to make sure you keep your things up the right way. I'm not sure that for example, this one, the stripy design there, it's actually got little arrows on here, and I was paying attention to make sure I got all the arrows coming down. You can't actually see it on all of them. But does it matter? Probably not, but I have OCD, which I think is probably getting a bit worse as I get older, but that's okay. There's far worse things to be suffering with, which I know. Right, let's go back to my favourite Tombow, and we're going to put our 3 layers together. And I've done it so that there's a good 1/8 of an inch gap either side. Yes. I think it just helps make it pop a little bit more. But whichever way you use your light and dark colours, totally up to you, really is a matter of preference. So make sure that all three are finishing off at the same level. Okay, so that's that. I'm going to pop this on here and get my large ruler ready. I leave about half an inch, quarter of an inch gap down the side on this left hand side so that I have room to put an image and greeting. About that much. Okay, that's, I want a quarter of an inch. This ruler, I can just push that over. Yeah, that looks about right. Okay, as you'll notice, something else I'm not doing like I normally do, I'm not putting my layers onto this card because it just wouldn't look right, which is why I've used the thick cardstock. Let's move all these little bits out there. Now for this, first of all, I am going to stamp an image, and the image I am using is this one here. I'm trying to make these cards a bit masculine while this is all like leaves and splodges, whatever, rather than flowery things, and this was more generic, if you like. But equally I think this could be for ladies as well. So that stamp is from Ocean Front, this one here. Now this stamp set is, because we are, our new annual catalogue goes live at the beginning of May, the last chance product sale will start on the 9th of April. If you're one of my customers, past or present, you will have received an email from you giving you the list of what's going to be on there. If you're not one of my customers and would like to be, please email me and I can let you have the details. If you're in North America or South Pacific, please get in touch with your, or you're in UK, Europe, and you've already got a demonstrator you work with, please get in touch with your demonstrator and ask her if she will send you the lists. But this stamp set is retiring, and this is being reduced from £12 to £14.70, and euros is being reduced from 27 euros to 18 euros 90 cents. I'm sorry, it's not easy, it doesn't come naturally to speak in euros. And for my greeting I'm using Happy Birthday Wishes, which is also retiring, with the dies, both called Seasonal Branches. Now this one, on the French and German versions there is no reduction on the stamp set. On the UK one there is a reduction of 50%, which makes it £12. And on the bundle there's a reduction, looks like 25, don't really understand my writing here, it looks like 25% discount, but only for the English one. I need to double check that. But the reason why Stampin' Up put bigger discounts on some from some products than others is because the quantity that they have. Now it sounds like, because this isn't being reduced in German or French, it sounds like it has sold a lot better in Germany and France than it has in the UK. Therefore they've got more that they need to clear. I can't understand it really because I think it's a lovely stamp set, but there you go. Right, now I'm going to bring this down to stamp. Right, let's move it up there a little bit. Really don't want to get my head under the camera. Now I'm going to use Lost Lagoon ink, and I was going to show you something else that I did, but I can't see what I did. Oh yes I can, yes I can. When I did my blue card here, I wasn't sure whether I wanted to have Night of Navy or, I think that's Boho Blue, as my sentiment and my image. So I did a spare one so that I could pop it on there when I made my card, turn it over and see which one I thought looked best. And I'm glad I did, because I wanted to use that, but that one clearly looked better. Okay, so that was just a little thing you may like to bear in mind when you do yours. Right, let's put this straight again. Okay. How far can I lean forward without showing you my head? Oh, brilliant. Good, good. And then I'm going to do these, and I'm also going to stamp them inside. So let's do this one first. Bring it down a bit. Am I still in screen? Yep. Okay. There we go. Lovely. Like that. I'm pleased with that. Now inside here I've stamped 3 of these. I'll show you the others in a jiffy. What I did run over here first. Normally I just stamp one and that's it, done. But this time I decided to go 3. And I thought it looked quite nice. There we go. So that's what it looked like on the Nitre Navy one. Right, so finished with the stamping. Let's pop the ink away. Of course these are all seized up since I've spent so long not stamping. Right, now what else did I want to show you before I did this? I want to show you these 2. Some of them I round my corners, some of them I don't. Personally, I do prefer them to be rounded like that. I think with such definite corners and whatever, I think the corners makes it look a lot softer. So I'm going to do all my corners, and I'm still using the Project Life corner rounder that Stampin' Up bought out years ago now. Did you know recently I celebrated my 12th anniversary with Stampin' Up? It's amazing where the time has gone. It has certainly been a great experience being a Stampin' Up demonstrator. I have enjoyed it. It has been fun. Now what we're going to do, first we'll put all of these together. Coming back again, it's a whole new learning curve because I've forgotten so much. That wasn't very clever, was it? I didn't do that punch very well. Where's my scissors? Here we go. Can you see that? It won't take much to get rid of it. There we go, gone. Yep. And this one. Right, now those 2 little steps that I told you about, these 2 here, you can round the corners if you like. It's a little bit tricky because that, well, with mine, when I put the cardstock in, it comes straight the way through because it's too narrow. Okay, so now I'm going to put dimensionals on that side, so my steps are this side. And the reason I'm doing it is because there's quite a bit of height in those layers. Okay, so you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You've got 3 pieces of cardstock and 2 pieces of DSP, so that actually, if you put that on there, you see there's a gap there. And when you put your dimensionals on, there's still a gap. I'll try and look. Oh, here we go. So that's the side I want dimensionals on. Yep, there's still a gap there. So to balance it up, I put the steps on. You may want 1 step, you may want 2 step. One makes it a tad under, the other makes it a tad over. It's too small to worry about. But what I find is when I go for a scrap of paper to cut these, I don't normally have anything as thin as this. It's normally about twice this width, and I just cut it in half to use both pieces. Again, matter of choice, what you like. And then where you put this on is totally up to you. So I think this one I'll put a bit lower down. There we go. Let's see if you can see through there now. Yeah, I definitely think it looks better with the 2 there. Right, the final thing that I did to this was I added some of the self-adhesive birds and dragonflies. Or adhesive back dragonflies and birds. These I really think are brilliant. I think they may be an online exclusive. So what I'm going to do is I am going to put one up here, and I have to say, since I've been back, I've been adding a tiny little bit of glue when I'm adding gems or these little birds. Where's my paper piercer? So I'm going to have one first. Right, get that off. And get that off. This just makes them adhere a lot stronger than just the am I still on the screen? Yeah. Rather than just the blue dot on the back. Okay. So that one would definitely work well for a lady, wouldn't it? Although I do prefer it for a man. So let me show you all the cards that I've made. Right, one of these was one that I made for the video that I actually completed, but I thought it sounded really unprofessional. So that one that I've just made, I've shown you that one. The other thing that I didn't like about this, well no, not that I didn't like it, I like the square on this one, but one thing I didn't like about this one is where I've got a light coloured design series paper strip there. It was too light. I prefer to go for more solid ones now. I don't like it where it's got a light background. This is actually very vanilla on very vanilla cardstock, but I just didn't feel that that popped as much as these do. These I think are great. I love them. And then that one that I made, which I really like, and this one. This was the one where I'm doing the light on top, like that dark on top, dark on top. I wonder how many I can show you all in one screen. yes, yes, yes. And there's that one. Okay, put you there. Now the two that I made mistakes on, this is one of them. As I say, I'm still going to be using these cards because although it's wrong, it doesn't look wrong. The pattern is consistent. I think that's why it doesn't look wrong. The mistake I made it every time. Like that has come in between those two, whereas it should have, from there it should have come down to there. And I've done that wrong all the way down. So it looks consistent, doesn't look wrong. So yeah, it's not bad. And this was the very, very first one that I had. And this is where I learnt that I really needed thick cardstock. I used regular cardstock, but I did another layer of basic white cardstock. It's not thick cardstock, but I embossed it first and then put it. But again, I did it, my mistake was consistent. But I still think that works. Okay, so there we go. That's my project, my first project to break me back into making videos again. I hope you've enjoyed it, and if you'd like to purchase any of the products that I featured here, please visit my online shop. The link will be in the box below, and don't forget to quote the March hostess code so that I can send you some free product when I send you your thank you gift and thank you card at the beginning of April. Many thanks for joining me today. Thank you very much again for everything, all the support I've had. I can't tell you how grateful I am for it. And I look forward to being with you next time. Take care. Happy crafting. Cheerio.